Hello everyone, welcome back to our HTML course. In this lesson, we are going to explore one of the most useful features in web development, forms. Forms allow users to interact with a web page by entering text, selecting options, checking boxes, and more. Form in HTML is a section of a web page where users can input data. This is a basic form structure. You can think of a form as a container that holds input fields like this: inputs, labels, buttons, and more. Form elements. Let's explore the most common building blocks of an HTML forms. Input. We have a lot of types of input. The first one is text, and it seems like this. We can put placeholder, enter and input, and it will be seen here. And when we click and enter some values, the placeholder will not be shown. We have some different types as well. Let's see them. Input, password, placeholder, password. Let's do this. So password is going to hide the value. So let's see. So I enter some value, but it is not seen. So another type for input is email. Let's remove them. Placeholder, email. Enter some email at gmail.com, for example. We have type of number, we have type of date, we have type of color to pick colors, so here I can only enter numbers and it doesn't allow me to add any text. I think this E is some kind of mathematical or something like that. So that is why it accepts E, but it doesn't allow other letters. So for the date, we can enter date. And for the color, we can pick some color like this. And we also have labels. Let's remove them. Labels describe the purpose of each input field. So let's write a label. Label for username, and below let's have an input type text, placeholder, username, and ID is username. So ID of input and for attribute of label should be the same. So thus I enter here and it automatically becomes active. But if I do something like this, so these are not the same, and I click here, nothing happens. So we need to click to the input. So like this. Also have checkboxes and radio buttons. So let's see them as well. So in order to have checkboxes, we can type checkbox. And we can also have label for this as well. Label. Checkbox 1. So when I click here, nothing happens. So let's fix it. Input ID checkbox 1 and 4 checkbox 1. So as you can see, if I click the text, it checks automatically. So let me give an example for radio button as well. Input type needs to be radio, and let's have name, gender, and ID male, and value male. And let's have label as well. And 4 needs to have male here because we have ID male. And let's have male. And another check radio item, radio, name again, gender, ID female, value female. And let's have the label as well. Label for female. And let's have the text female. One tip, radio buttons with the same name are grouped together. So what it means, so I click here, only one of them becomes active. But if I do this, for example, gender 2, gender 1, I click here, you see both of them are active. So this is usually not what we want. So we put the same name here so that we can only select one of them. So let's comment this as well. Text area for multi-input. So if we have a long text, using text area is better than using input type text. So let's see how we use text area. Label, message, your message, and let's have BR tag, text area. Let's remove the name, we don't need it. So let's have ID. We need ID because we have label here. Message and placeholder, type your message. So let's see. So as you can see, we have our text area here, but it is too small, just like type text, input type text. So we can set rows, let's say 5 rows, and columns as well. And in order to set the columns, we need calls attribute. So let's have 40 calls. So as you can see, it is bigger now, like this. Let's say 50, 15. You see, it is even better. So let's comment this as well. Drop down menus with select. So let's have some select option items. Let's have label again, color, choose a color, select, let's remove the name, ID color, option. So we need values here, red and red, blue, blue, green, green. We need these values in order to get the value when we work with JavaScript. So currently I am not going to show JavaScript side, but we are going to need these in JavaScript. So let's see. So we have red, blue, and green. So we select, and selected items are seen here. So in this example, we see red value by default here. But if we want to change this, we can use selected attribute. So using this selected attribute is going to change this default value here, and we will see green. So let's say we used selected attribute for blue. So we are going to see blue here. So let's comment this as well. The submit button. Button type submit. Submit. The submit button is used to submit the form. In our example, the button won't actually send the data anywhere because we don't have a backend. So let's see. So it does nothing here, but we can add some JavaScript and see how it works at least. But we are not going to use any PHP or any backend in this lesson. So let's comment this out and let's have a full example of forms. So firstly, I am going to have a form tag. I am not going to need action. So we could have like method like post or get we usually use, or action like we have something .php, but in this lesson we are not going to have these, but we are going to have on submit. So I am going to show how that button works on JavaScript. So let's say we have input, label, username, br, input type text, ID, username, placeholder, enter, username. So we have it. Let's have BR again. Label for email, email, input, type email, ID email, placeholder, enter, email, and let's have the button now. Button, submit, type submit. So, oops, we need BR again. BR. Okay, so we have, and we have email. We entered and the data is sent, but as we don't use any backend, nothing happens. So we can also have a required button, sorry, required attribute. So this attribute is used to not send any empty data to backend. So required. So let's say these both are empty. So when we try to submit the form, it is going to warn us, please fill in this field. So let's say it is filled. Please fill in this field. So let's fill. Please include and add in the email address. So it needs to be a valid email address. gmail.com. So now it accepted. So let's have on submit function as well. Handle submit. And let's have a very basic JavaScript const handle submit. So this is our function. Alert submitted. So if we have a valid form, we are going to submit it. So we do not have a valid form now. It asks me to fill the input. The email is not valid now. It warns me again. So now I have a valid email. I submit. So now the JavaScript worked and we see the alert now here. So I hope that this lesson is useful for you and you learned something new. If you liked, please subscribe to my channel and like my video. Have a good day. See you in the next lesson.